do see these two teams face off in the lower bracket, and we are heading to Champion Select here.
That's right. Divine Esports starts on blue and Millie goes in for an Olaf ban. Very interesting against Berjaya Dragons, meaning to say that they want Berjaya Dragons to take a little bit more of a risk, whereas Senna is a perma ban against BJD for many of the teams that have been competing against them. No global pressure also with that Gallo being removed.
Yeah, Galio being removed is a very good call. Chile will favor these global roaming champions when he has the chance to, and Galio is one of the safer options that are harder to punish. If Chile goes for a Twisted Fate, I do expect Coyote, if he's feeling himself, he has many options to counterpick that one, including, I believe, a Pocket Yasuo as well. And the picks are coming out fast here. Varus, Riven, and Bran. I'm really liking what Divine have so far.
That's some really good hot takes right there. So we've mentioned that this is going to be a very aggressive jungling that's coming from Divine Esports. If you put him on the Ribbon, sure, he could go for it. Or Connex, who could absolutely dominate against Asilla if he ever tries to even think about that Fiora again.
Indeed, and I don't think that that's a pick that we're going to be seeing here today. I feel like they would have learned their lesson. There we go, Twisted Fate for BJD, right? I want to see what Divine take to counter this one. It could be a Bran mid, but Bran, Varus, and the Dragon Lane can be a very dominant duo as well. So I won't be surprised if they flex that down to support and we see Coyote go for something a bit more punishing here.
Yeah, and you can already imagine that Pyroclasm that works alongside with the Chain of Corruption. So that's going to be a pretty massive ult that Berjaya Dragons may not be able to run away from. But with good enough pressure, and look at this, Asilla thinks that, hey, we can go for the Fiora yet again, and perhaps this time it may work, but is he pretty certain about this? I don't fancy his chances, but I guess we just gotta believe.
Well, we gotta break it down, right? If we were in the Berjaya Dragon shoes, their top process probably read along the lines of, this is our strongest comp, this is our most successful player, and we need to try to play around him. This time we have the tools. We have Xin Zhao to be aggressive in the early game, we have Twisted Fate who can roam and has the globals. Maybe this is the game we can set Asilla up for success. But in my opinion, taking mechanics checks against a team like Divine is not a good idea.
What do we make of the draft in that one, Contra? Because I'm seeing a lot of the similarities that these teams faced in their opening matches to start off their bracket story. I feel like the likes of Lee Sin are just going to be perma-banned away. Ziggs may just be that highly contested picks, despite we know the likes of Saigon just wanting to play, the Kais whenever he gets the opportunity. I feel like the Ziggs is certainly going to be one that gives them that the extra basket. Before we further the casters, which draft are you liking and why?
Well, as much as I put my vote on Berjaya Dragons, I think that they might have slightly got outdrafted right here, because in that late game itself, I wonder how much can that Fiora actually offer if she wants to go in for that split push. And most certain than not, you will always have a Ribbon that's going to be chasing after her, so that problem can easily be solved by Divine Esports. And I think that this is just one form of a way that they can actually get all that sort of lead. But when it comes down to team fighting, I guess they can do decent enough pokes to lower down health bars before committing with the Xin Zhao, diving in forward as a mid shield. But what about you, Omo? Because Divine Esports, this is something that they are familiar with.
I mean, I think it breaks down into two very simple things for us to keep track of, right? On the side of BJD, can you set up Auxilia for success? Can you play around your globals? And can you enable the Fiora? On the side of Divine Esports, can you out-teamfight them? Can you out-mechanics them? Can you find the picks? And is your Riven going to be able to pop off? They didn't lock in the Kazakhs in the end. Got bamboozled there.
Well, let's see. We are going to throw a good cross to our casting team. Is the Fiora curse still there? It was a game one pick last time. It's a game one pick this time. Let's throw it across to Yuko and TJ.
I wonder which team will be able to survive this first series of the day. Good things are definitely worth the wait, and we have an amazing series ahead for you guys. We'll be your casters. I'm Yuko. Alongside me is TJ.
I'm very far away. I'm very small, but I am over here.
Well, you're kind of taller to me compared to the, camera and everything.
Now.
I think even in real life. But yeah, you saw the draft. You also saw the bans. The analyst desk asked this toward each other. I'm gonna ask you too. Which draft are you more favored to?
I heard Omo and Contra being really critical of that Riven pick, or of that Fiora pick, and I actually like it because I was looking at the pool that gets played by Asilla in these matchups. He's got his 3 most played characters during the regular season were Akali, Darius, and Fiora. They did a very good job, first of all, target banning away Tarnex. They removed the Camille, they removed the Renekton, his two most favored characters. You don't want to play Akali into Riven. Darius is sketchy into Riven and doesn't do well if you amp up the lane. You can't really do much with the Darius. I actually really like giving the Fiora over to Asilla because there is the potential to skill check the Riven, land the right riposte, win the 1v1s, and have a really serious split pushing threat in the late game. Now, can you do that versus Tarnex, one of the best top laners in this tournament? I don't know, but I like the idea.
And that is the question we will be answering once we head on to the riff. We did talk about this off camera. These two Baron laners, they really need to pop off in the early game because most of the control of the front line and even the damage will come out from them. They only have the ADCs for the damage towards the late game.
Yeah, and if we're looking at kind of the mid-game spikes here, I'm paying attention to the Twisted Fate in particular. I think Berjaya Dragons have a win condition through that top lane we're talking up. It needs to come out though.
It really need to, indeed. With all that said and done, the draft and bans are picked and we hop straight into game number 1. Again, Divine Esports versus Berjaya Dragons. A bit of a small rush of death there, but looks like Berjaya, they will let it go and just focus on Coyote.
Yeah, Chili versus Coyote is one of the most exciting parts of this game for me. We're seeing an early invade.
Definitely. I mean, this is
There's
just
no buff. It wandered all the way to the
It walked away alongside Kha'Zix. Come on. Len really charmed the buff there. So Berjaya Dragons' invade was a little bit late. A few seconds late.
Hey kid, you want to see my Kha'Zix build? Red buff's just like, yeah. I'm gonna follow you all the way to the mid lane.
And then bro was like, where is it?
They do eventually get that buff stolen away. Keep track. Oh, he's walking back into it.
Yep.
Len in danger.
Okay, was he able to get it though? Looks okay. Now you have Berjaya being boxed in by Divine Esports. Coyote does use flag and to jump in. Gold card will connect. Coyote very, very low, but first blood gets secured by Berjaya Dragons. And with that, Divine Esports, they get one kill. That is going to be another kill going over to Twisted Fate Winter in front of everything. Stuns was too much for them to bear. A double kill for Chili. Goodness me, what a start for Berjaya Dragons.
God! A triple kill! Berjaya Dragons just get the freest teamfight of their lives handed to them by Divine. It's exactly what went wrong for them during their match versus Boom, and it's gonna get worse!
Whoa! That's a lead
my God.
right there.
Berjaya Dragons are at their power spike right now. This is the early game strength of Berjaya. They have Braum, they have Twisted Fate, both of whom are incredibly powerful in the first 2 levels, first 3 levels. Divine Esports walk into that with a series of characters, none of whom can do anything when they're level 1, level 2. Coyote on the Jarvan literally doesn't have buttons he can push that do damage. Len does not do anything into an early team fight without the isolation buff. There's just no way that the Kha'Zix is providing any kind of meaningful damage. Divine absolutely should not have opted into that. They absolutely cannot take fights like that.
Let's see the small replay here. Tarnex versus Asilla. I believe it was the Ignite that finished him off. That was a very good repost from Asilla, actually.
Beautiful. And this is everything I was talking about, Yuko, when I said that Berjaya Dragons did have a chance through the mid lane. Chili now has the gold. He has so much gold. He's going to be a damage threat unto himself. But he has the gold to really amp up these side lanes as well. This is Rod of Ages at 3 minutes into game. If he's able to get into any of the other lanes with that AP, he's going to easily win those 2v2s, those 3v3s in the side lanes, and boost those players out ahead as well. I want to see that directed towards Asilla in the top line.
Definitely. We are going to be seeing Destinies all over the Baron lane later on, right after he clears the wave here and even get the Honey Fruit. But again, this is a very good play by Berjaya to just utilize their lineup in the early game, just trying to limp Divine Esports. Tarnex very, very low, but still is pretty much alive and gets away.
Somebody check Contra's heart rate.
Contra, are you okay? Somewhere in the analyst desk.
The man who chose Berjaya against all the odds yesterday. Today, on a day of national celebration, everyone in the Malaysian region has to be so excited right now. Berjaya absolutely chewing up the early game now. They have a 2,000 gold lead, a lot of it on the key carries, and they're going to try and boost this. Here's the gameplay.
Destiny stuns gold card and goodbye Tan X.
Wow.
That was a very quick kill going over to Berjaya.
And that's just the exact game plan they want to execute, right? You want to be using the gold you have in the mid lane, teleport into the side lane, yes, get another kill. Look at the timing on it. Berjaya are not just going to get more kills, more gold inside of Scylla, not just going to get the turret and all that gold inside of Scylla. This doesn't matter. I'm going to talk through it. And they're also going to get the Rift Herald. So Berjaya have just grown their gold lead astronomically.
This is it, man. The perfect start for the team in red. And you have Brand being able to just zone out Braum. No, we will get the turret and then we will recall.
Okay. Sagi does die during my minor freakout. That could have implications. I don't think it matters right now. What it means is that Divine get a turret down bottom, get a little bit of gold back over. They have a late game win condition in this Brand Varus bottom lane. Divine need to last till 15-20 minutes in order to have a reasonable path back into this game though.
Here, I have a question. Will they be able to survive or stretch until the 15 minutes though? Because again, look at the gold lead. Look at how Scylla is one level up compared to Tanex.
I'm gonna say no, and one of the reasons why you've just seen down bottom, they have so much turret take over on Berjaya. You have Fiora, whose empowered auto attacks destroy turrets. You have Twisted Fate, who absolutely munches on turrets. He takes big healthy bites out of them. And then you've also got the Ziggs, whose whole thing is that he can blow up turrets. So they are just going to absolutely destroy any structure that's left unguarded. And I really struggle to see a path back into this game for Divine.
And even though there was a bit of love taps here and there in the mid lane, Ziggs is pretty much free farming in the Baron lane. He's okay. He's just trying to ramp up on the items.
Oh my god, Chili's almost at second item already.
That's how fast it is.
This is disgusting, Yuka.
Well, let's just wait and see. I have a question though. Which will happen first? Chili getting his second item or Divine Esports getting the second turret?
If I have to compete in the Yuko game show, I'm gonna say they pump the brakes here. This is what I want Berjaya to do, is just stall out. So I think Chili easily gets to second item, because the only way Divine have access to turrets right now, have access to turret take, is if Berjaya makes some massive team fight mistakes. And I don't think that's what you're looking for right now if you're Berjaya. In order to kind of grow this gold lead, they just want to take individual poke picks, rely on those gold cards to find you entries to fights. Once you land a gold card stun, once you get that CC rolling, you take the advantaged fight, and you turn that into the next objective, that being the Cloud Drake in a bit.
Hello, Tan X. Syndicate trying to chase down this Riven. Riven being able to get away with Broken Wing.
You see how if Chili doesn't find the gold card, they just don't go for the play. Because that's what matters here. If you can find the gold card, Berjaya have a free kill. If they don't have a free kill, they don't need to take that risk. If it is anything other than a 70% sure kill, why run those odds? They have a better chance in this game if they don't. One of the other things that Berjaya are also looking for here, Yuko, is they're looking for an angle to throw the Rift Herald down in. So a kill would mean kind of a cascade of failures. If they get a kill, they instantly turn it into a Rift Herald charge, instantly turn that into a turret, instantly turn that into a Drake. If they can't find a pick here, and Divine have done a very good job of preventing that, then we're looking for, okay, where are they going to spend the Rift Herald in order to buy space to take this dragon?
Winter gets caught out, but Divine Esports looks like they're not gonna get it. It's just a Braum, a very tanky Braum. They most likely will just try to either get Sagi or this Cloud Drake.
Yeah, Berjaya, not aggressive enough for me. Not taking any of the picks or summoning the Rift Herald here in the mid lane to punish the dragon tag.
I was expecting them to, okay, a bit too late, a few seconds late, but it's better than nothing.
That wasn't a summon. I think that was just a default. I think it was just running out of time. This reptile's gonna wander out of the jungle. Oh no.
He gets caught in. Oh no, he does pop with the stopwatch. So that is gonna be the Gishafish connecting onto None. Fate gets taken down. Kill going over to Tan. Cataclysm connecting onto Winter, forced to flash out.
I don't know. 10 minutes now. Divine have gotten the gold back. And everything that looked so good for Berjaya has fallen apart.
That was a leap straight into Sagi's face, and after getting the kill, Divine Esports, they get their second turret.
And Divine have clawed their way right back into this game. They now have the gold lead again. As the Rift Herald is wasted, as Berjaya don't stick together around their key playmakers. We have not seen Chile land a gold card for an initiation. And all of the advantage that they got out of that level 1 fight is now squandered. Berjaya need to take fair team fights, essentially. Now, I do think they can win those fair team fights, but they shouldn't have had to.
Okay, thought there was going to be a skirmish there. But yeah, I do agree. Chile needs to start landing these gold cards. And Berjaya, they need to start getting these pickups or these 5v5 team fights. Because, like what you said, the advantage that they had earlier, it's pretty much thrown out of the window. And now Divine Esports, they're the ones that's on the hunt.
And just to get a little more mechanical about what went wrong around that Cloud Drake, Berjaya, if you position defensively on the Dragon, they have... Okay, I'm going to hold this thought because we have a play up top.
Really good shield coming out from Winter.
Watch
Though,
land.
was able to stop the possible gank from their jungler. Taggy will just clear out the waves. But again, Divine Esports, they are holding their ground up top. Brand sending out flames here and there. Gishafish connecting onto one, but now you have the kites coming in from Divine Esports, teleport from Berjaya, but they're pretty much locked in. Sato Charge will connect. Cataclysm connecting onto Esila. Esila trying to get the next possible target, but Sagi still gets bursted down with that Syndicate trying to chase down the members of Divine, but instead, he was the one that got bursted down. A leap onto Chile. Esila trying to outmaneuver this Kha'Zix, but it's not going to be enough. With that, Kha'Zix get the double kill. A kite from Hope 1, and with that, Divine Esports get the win 4-2.
And that's everything they need, Yuko. That's going to turn immediately into the Baron. And Berjaya really slow on the rotate there. Good redemption. We'll actually deny that Baron take. But they were really slow on the rotate there. There was such a long time where Divine were sieging the top turret, and Berjaya still had Chile not positioning, not trying to clear out. I know he has the teleport, but once you spam the Destiny Gate, you should be you get full vision, so you should be doing that proactively in that kind of situation, so you know where the threat's coming from for your teammates.
Flag and Jag onto Winter, but it's not gonna result too much. Missing arrow will be by Hope 1 as well. Divine Esports trying to get as much vision as they can. A few fight 1v1 here down at the Dragon Lane side. Esila 1v1. No, let's make that 1v2. Len joins in and actually gets the kill onto Fiora.
And now it's really hard for Berjaya to get out from behind where their turrets have fallen. They only have one tier 1 left on the map. And again, Chile not able to contribute to that isolated pick. I want to see these Twisted Fate ultimates coming out much more aggressively.
Destiny has been popped, but still was not
again.
able to get Tan X. That was a wasted ultimate. And with that, Divine Esports, they will position themselves in the Infernal Dragon's pit.
Here's the play from Berjaya. They didn't contest the earlier Dragon, and they're not going to contest this one either. They're, of course, at a gold deficit at this point, which means that Berjaya can't contest the third Drake of the game. All 3 Drakes are in Divine's pocket, and that's, of course, an Infernal, so there's a pretty serious damage spike for Divine right around the time of their own item spikes. Start looking for Quay and Hope 1 to be really shredding here.
Onyx still alone there, and to highlight what you said earlier, yes, Berjaya could not even try to contest in their Dragon because their first outer mid lane turret is down, which is why Divine Esports was very much confident to try and have first dibs in the Dragon.
And I don't want to... Actually, I'm lying. I do want to be a little bit mean to Chile.
Hey.
When you are playing Twisted Fate in competitive play, you need to be teleporting into plays before the plays happen. You should be moving as the initiation comes out. And we've repeatedly seen very reactionary Twisted Fate teleports that mean he's just too late to the action.
Flag and Jag reaching Sagi. Sagi flashes out, stuns connecting onto Coyote, but they don't care. Mega Inferno Bomb being sent out. Brom gets bursted down. Syndicate trying to run away with his life, but still, Tonix gets a kill onto Esila. Piercing Iron not gonna connect, but still, a double kill for Tonix. Them being able to win that fight is equal to a possible Baron take.
A 1v2 from Tarnax in the bottom lane, taking out Chili and Esila. And that spells doom, because we talked about at the very beginning, the idea of the Fiora being able to contain the Riven. That's not going to happen. And oh dear, Syndicate.
Oh dear, Syndicate indeed, still trying to run away, was forced to use the flash. And with that, Divine Esports, with their Baron buff minions, will get this Baron lane turret.
And what was a much closer game than we thought we were going to have has ended rather where we thought it would. I said earlier, somebody check on Contra's heart rate. I think maybe someone should just check on Contra. Because
Are you okay?
Berjaya Dragons, after a devastating advantage in the early game, a beautiful level 1 fight, it's all kind of fallen apart. They squandered their advantage and Divine have woken back up.
Looks like it. I mean, give Divine Esports a lead and they will just crush you. With that, Berjaya is left to question themselves. What is the next possible thing to do? Syndicate receiving a lot of damage there. Divine Esports having their eyes in this last mid lane outer to a possible engage. Maybe Fuse is being thrown out, but Berjaya, they're being very, very careful. A jump in right into Berjaya Dragon. Teleports coming in. Initial Fisher connecting onto two, but here comes TanX focusing down on Winter, and Brom will be another casualty, another win, another kill for Divine Esports' pocket.
Coyote tanking, I think, 4, maybe 5 turret shots that fight. Just buying so much time for Divine as they hard shove. And Chili being out-damaged as this incredibly fed Twisted Fate, unable to find value. Oh my lord! Gets flashed on by the support!
Still a flash in as well. Repost will be used. It was enough to take down Brand, but at cost of his own life. With that, Kha'Zix is now unstoppable.
You have to do that, though. If you don't kill Quay, you're leaving your man out to dry. There's a certain amount of vengeance you need to prove the point, Yuko.
Len, hello? That was a very tense damage coming out from Kha'Zix. With that, the base of Berjaya Dragons is pretty much open, with the dragon being up in 12 more seconds.
If I ever get flashed on by a brand support, if anyone humiliates me like that, I need you to go in and 1v1 him, alright, Yuko?
Why me?
Because if you don't do it, who will?
You, maybe? Come on, man.
No, I'm dead.
We believe in you. Me and the desk believes in you, man. Even in your 200 MS ping, we believe you. Come on.
We've got the Elder Drake up right now, and this should be the nail in the coffin for Berjaya. Divine zoning here.
Destiny has been popped to get vision for Berjaya. They must contest this, but looks like Divine Esports still the team that's very much confident. Also have TanX split pushing down at the Dragon side.
I will let chat know. We did have a little bit of a technical delay earlier, and during that time we were playing ARAM. The caster squad won the best of 5.
We were so good. TJ was a support, but now you have the support being stunned. Winter uses the Gish of Fisher, but it's not going to be enough. He does flash out with that. Isilla being able to get one kill. TanX is now unstoppable, jumping right on Isilla's face. A shutdown on Kha'Zix though, but TanX being able to get the revenge kill for his team, plus a double kill. Still, Divine Esports win that trade with a 4-0. 4-1 rather.
Divine shoving in, and this should be the game over and done with, despite Berjaya's level 1.
Man, game 1 will end, and Divine Esports start the day, start series number 1 with a bang.
Well, it didn't start the series with a bang.
Totally disgusting to witness. Somebody just got deleted just like that, right on the turret when they're supposed to be safe. Anyways, I guess we just have to hop right into the draft here. And Divine Esports, they kept targeting onto the Olaf. I think this is a usual safe pick for Syndicate, but he still has a lot more of the pool to work with. But that dwindles down because Berjaya Dragons continues to focus down on Divine Esports jungle itself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's super important to choke out the jungle picks here, right? We talk about land being a key enabler, and I think in one of our narrative meets, so I forgot who brought it up, but someone kept raising the point of Lance Lee Sin, and Berjaya Dragons, they have the same idea. You have to get rid of Lance Lee Sin. I think what we're gonna see this game is a bit of a salty run back of both drafts.
Yeah, it feels like a deja vu with a little bit
there
of
we
a
go.
difference here. Yeah, Divine Esports not fixing what's not broken. So this is where Berjaya Dragons might opt to take a little bit of swerve, but they say, you know what, if we're gonna do the same, maybe we'll just do it a little bit more different in the game. And yeah, it's just the exact same picks. So it's down to the final tree. Do you feel like Divine Esports need to switch it up?
No, I think you're exactly right, Contra. Berjaya Dragons, they said the draft is not the problem, and like we addressed earlier, right? The draft had good ideas, it was execution, which is the problem. Berjaya Dragons, they seem to agree, they're gonna go for a run back, they're gonna say we're gonna do it better this time, we're gonna go for a win this time. Divine Esports, like you said as well, what if it's not broken? You have no need to fix it. They dominated that game despite getting rolled level 1. I think this time around, you're definitely much more aware of that level 1 possibility, and if Berjaya Dragons don't find a lead in level 1, what's gonna happen in this game?
Okay, I guess this
Flexing
is
a bit
the
more.
biggest difference here. Twisted Fate versus a Zed, and I don't think I've ever seen a Zed other than in solo queue for the longest of time. Now, I think this matchup definitely favors Divine Esports a whole lot more because they have so much burst damage. Who do you want to prioritize coming from Berjaya Dragons here if you were to be in their shoes?
Look, the answer for BJD is all down to Fiora. The only champion that matters on the map for BJD is this Fiora. And every action they take on the map needs to reflect this. They need to understand that only Fiora matters and they need to just give everything else up. If you want to invade somewhere on the map, you have to sack your bottom lane, move your Braum up, and invade the top side of the map. That's where you need to vertical jungle and you need to make sure Acilia can take over.
Well, I'm excited for this one because we are getting ourselves that first Z pick of the series. It's an assassin. It needs to pop off as well. We talk about Twisted Fate needing to pop off. It's going to be that battle in the mid lane. It's going to be exciting. I'm hyped. They're hyped. We're all hyped. Let's go to game number 2.
Same bands, almost the same picks. Will it have the same results? With Divine Esports up on one game, let's see what Berjaya will do to try and turn things around. With TJ standing on your right side, we're very much excited to tell you what's gonna happen in this game number 2.
Speak for yourself. I'm depressed over here, Yuka.
Why are you? What happened?
They picked Fiora in the top lane again.
Well,
and I was like, well, it didn't work out last time, so they're going to make a change. I know they ran the rest of the draft back, but they're going to switch the Fiora.
hey,
And then they didn't.
to be fair, I think Fiora was really okay in game number 1. He's not that bad. She wasn't that bad. Come on, TJ.
Didn't do anything with her. You got the... This is the problem. Like, I am more upset at Isilla for running Fiora again. I remember, if you remember game 1, I justified Isilla's Fiora. I am more upset with them running the Fiora again because they found early game success. Because if you remember, that Fiora was successful and did nothing with the lead.
They weren't able to utilize it indeed, but now looks like, okay, they're gonna do the same early game. Will Divine Esports let that happen though?
God.
Come on.
Divine, we've run this experiment. Zed does not change this. You lose level 1s.
Let's see though. I mean, things could... This is just me being optimistic, okay? Come on, cut me off some slack, man. Things could still change. And yeah, Syndicate and Winter still making their way back into the buff area for Divine.
Oh my god.
Yep.
This is just the cheekiest thing I have ever seen. Berjaya are like, hey, you guys all happen to be around this red buff again? Just wondering? Just thought we'd check. Turns out, no. So Syndicate and Winter will get the early invade. If you're tracking these jungle clears, what really matters here is Syndicate's path back to his own red buff.
Yes.
That's in the top left corner of your screen. And if Syndicate is able to get back there before Len, it's a net advantage to Berjaya of a truly massive proportion. If he instead opts to go to his blue buff in the top right corner, it's what's known as a vertical jungle, and we'll expect Len to take away the top left-hand side of the screen, the top left side of the jungle, and they'll just split the map kind of vertically as opposed to the normal horizontal down the river.
usually highlight the junglers. Looks like I'm gonna highlight the mid laners now. Coyote very much successful with pushing Chili back. Quite a sad Visit Fate sitting on level 3. Looking down here now at the Dragon lane side. Saki usually just throwing out the bombs. Was not able to stop Hope 1 from being confident and storming and poking in the front lines though.
So, just to give you an update on those jungle paths, is there is this brawl happening down bottom you were talking about. Len takes his time to invade here, and he's going to get caught out because of it. Chili was kind of playing defense, playing goalkeeper, and Syndicate went buff to buff. He went Divine's red buff to his blue buff, got both those buffs, then got the Scuffle Crab in the bottom river, then roams up to the top side. So it's not a flashy level 1 fight, but Syndicate, as a result of this, has a pretty massive gold lead over Len for this early game, just because he was able to steal away Len's Raptors, Len's red buff at the very beginning of this game.
A roughly 200-300 gold lead in favor of Syndicate. Let's see if Berjaya will able to convert that to an advantage as TanX being able to stun Scylla with key bursts, but still no actual commitments. Syndicate though, here he goes. Could be a possible 2v1. TanX being very defensive on the turret. Destiny has been popped. Gold card, will it connect? Apparently it will not, but you have the Blade of the Exile being sent out. Still though, first kill going over to the side of Berjaya.
That's clean, Berjaya. That's exactly what we're looking for. They bring the teleport in, they have the long roam from Winter, Syndicate roams up, and it's all enabled by the fact that they're running Ziggs down bottom. We don't have the scoreboard up right now, but Sagi is only at like a 200 gold deficit because Ziggs' wave clear is so good, and there's not a whole lot of poke during early levels, even from Avaris. So he's just able to sit back here and exchange bombs with arrows for the wave and stay about even in gold. Now that's going to change here because Hope 1's going to start being able to poke more reliably, and Sagi's going to need defense in order to just not die behind the turret. So expect Winter to kind of stay down there in the bottom lane for the next couple of levels. But Berjaya have played their early game pretty perfectly here.
That's true. And which is probably why they're still running the same draft. I mean, they did lose game number 1, but they trust this draft completely. Len actually visited the Dragon lane earlier, but looks like they were not able to get the kill on Sagi.
Syndicate roams up to the top lane here, again challenging TanX, and they don't get the kill, but I'm still very impressed. Also, we have a dive in the bottom lane as Coyote tries to set up. Both these dives, the top lane pressure from Berjaya and Divine's bottom lane pressure, are for the same reason. It's because we just got objectives. Berjaya are putting a lot of emphasis on this Rift Herald. They did this exact same gank during game number 1. And I agree with them. I think Rift Herald for Cloud Drake is a very positive trade.
Very much. Sagi his way back into the lane. Did throw out the bomb there. Almost got Coyote, but it won't be enough stuns connecting on to Sagi. And here comes their engage for Divine Maker for no bomb being sent out. He does get Zed, but at the expense of his very own life.
But they're going to get 2 turrets in trade for this. It's a much better use of the Rift Herald here because they know there are 3 players tied up. 1 dead, 2 in the bottom lane. So they know there's nobody here that can stop this Rift Herald from Berjaya. And they're going to pop the Destiny just to make sure it's a clean back out for the team. Really good play, actually, by Berjaya. I am very impressed by this early game.
At the same time, Scylla and Syndicate was able to get the Triforce ready, pretty much slowly ramping up and gearing for the next possible battle. Hope 1 though, still alone pretty much into the mid lane. With Destiny not available, I believe Berjaya will just play this one out safely.
There is your...
Oh, they're not playing it safely. Look at there. Tried to lock in on Quay and was able to get the kill onto Brand.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what Quay's positioning was there because they didn't need control of the river. So he just blind walks into a bush and he doesn't have the defensive tools of another character. And now Berjaya press their man advantage. They're not going to be able to properly threaten that turret because of wave clear. But I like to see Berjaya pressing their advantage in the way they didn't do during game number 1, frankly. They see that they have an advantage on the map and they go, okay, we're going to make some action happen. And this has resulted in now a 2,000 gold lead for the Malaysian region team.
Looks like Berjaya, pretty much similar to game number 1. They have the lead in the early
Scylla.
game. Scylla, though, will try to win out the duel against BACE2, but he is very, very low. Still manages to survive that one by just the skin of his teeth.
Wow, barely surviving what was a 1v2 down bottom, so that's a win. Able to get out of there, burning both his flash and his ignite, as Coyote and Len, I believe, surprised him down bottom. I want to see Berjaya do something with this, again, when you can see that there are 3 players, as he eventually did draw, down in the bottom lane. Berjaya should know, okay, we have a couple of moments where even if those players instantly back as they do, we can press waves on the other side of the map. And they're a little lackluster in that regard. You can see all of the waves are split down the river right now. Berjaya don't really gain anything for the vision they had down bottom. But it's, you know, a lack of proactive play, not a failure yet.
Here comes Chile being proactive, though. The gold card did connect, but apparently Tan X was already in a safe distance, so he will not get taken down.
Get distracted sometimes trying to guess what
gonna happen next?
Twisted Fate is about to pull. Oh, he's getting caught. Look at that. Really good roam up from Divine in the middle of the jungle up top.
Len says hello, but apparently Chile will still survive. He does use flash, though, and he does not have barrier available. Looking down here at the Dragon Lane side, you have a Berjaya Dragons just storming in the last outer turret from Divine.
This is exactly what I was talking about. They go, okay, we know there's presence up top. We see 3 people pressing Chile. What are we going to do on the map? We're going to take 2 entire turrets in the bottom line.
Death Mark will be used, but it looks like he just got caught out. Coyote even getting the grand challenge. Taunts coming through from Quay, but still it's not enough to take Isila down. 4 members of Berjaya down here at the Dragon Lane side. No kills yet. Dragon up in 8 seconds.
Really, really well done by Berjaya. They get a free turret down bottom. The other turret's not quite dead, technically, but it's down to, what, auto's worth of HP. They're a little slow to recall. We'll see if that means they lose this drag.
Let's see, though. Seems like it. Yeah, it will most probably go over to Divine. With that, Syndicate is a tad bit too late to the party, and Berjaya, they're gonna go with the reset. Let's go back.
That's a hard call to make. I'm not going to be as critical of Berjaya for that, because they very nearly got that turret down bottom, which would have been a massive gold injection. So I see the argument for, well, let's just stay. Let's just get 1 more auto. But the net result is they need their players to back and reset in order to contest the Drake, and they don't do it in time. They just don't have a way to properly contest it. So the good call from Berjaya is we're not going to.
3v3, you have a shield being sent out by Winter, but looks like it will be Land being boxed in, Megaphone, a bomb being thrown out. Esila dashes in, a double kill going over to Syndicate, but he also got taken down. It was a 1-2 now in favor of Berjaya, but they're not gonna stop. A flash in, Glacier Fisher, Hope 1 and Quay both flashes out.
And we do need to talk about Hope 1 here, because as Divine kind of lose this game slowly and steadily, he is the late game insurance. This is always what Hope 1 does. He's going to build Muramana, he's going to play on something like a Varus, like a Corki, and he's going to wait until 15-20 minutes and then just start one-shotting people. And he's incredibly good at just playing safe. You're almost never going to see Hope 1 get caught out during the early game. You're going to see a very quiet, very safe lane from him, which does mean Divine never win their bottom lane. They never, you know, shatter the bottom lane turret in the first 10 minutes. But they quite frequently have him as a backup if their initial early game plan goes awry. This game, that backup's going to be necessary, Yuka.
Definitely. Oh, Piercing Arrow actually got vision there in the bush earlier, so 10 minutes in. So the lead still in favor of Berjaya, but looks like Divine, they're really trying to get back from the gold deficit and get more turrets.
3 players grouped in the middle of the map for Berjaya as they're beginning to threaten to posture towards that Baron. And
oh, okay. Chili, got spotted out by Len. I honestly thought he was gonna leave, man. I mean, he wasn't right there, but I guess he just immediately thought Chili's probably with someone, so let's not do that right now.
I think both players were surprised. I don't think Len thought Chile was going to be there either.
Here comes the lead. Masagi fires out, does get a few shield in, uses barrier as well. No more summoner spells for the Ziggs, and with that, Divine, they possibly keep on pressuring Berjaya. Baron is up, but looks like Divine Esports will get first dibs on this objective.
Yeah, this is really good from Divine. They realized that they forced a player back. They know Berjaya are playing defensive. They see where 2-3 players are, and they say, hey, Zed can like solo this Baron if he's got a smite near him. So Len and Hope are just focusing this. Oh!
Okay, Zed gets bursted down. Still, Divine Esports got
Destiny.
that Baron. A 4-man. Make that a 3-man Baron buff because Chili took down Len. Stuns connecting onto Winter, but they don't care. They were able to get 2 champions down.
Well played by Berjaya and Answer, and they're going to keep going.
Glacial Fisher in. That is going to be the ultimate connecting onto Winter. That is going to be the Brand get taken down. Tanlex trying to 2v1 this. He gets Esilla. You have the flash out on Syndicate. Tan-X man on this ribbon is definitely a threat. He wants more. He dashes in at the back line. Double kill going over to Tan. That is going to be the Zig saying goodbye. Triple kill at that. And the Chili trying to do what he can. The kill went over to Syndicate. A shot down on Tan-X. It was a 3-1.
Oh man, Sagi. I feel like I'm watching the opening scene of Indiana Jones where he's running away from the boulder, but if he just like turned around and looked at the boulder.
That was it.
Because Sagi, real deer in the headlights. There's a really big ribbon running at you. You're 1 HP. It's time to leave. You're in the wrong neighborhood. And his misplay there is going to mean there aren't the resources for Berjaya to contest this dragon. All 3 Drakes again in Divine's pocket.
Stella did try to poke there, but Len was able to leap his way into safety. Glacial Fisher will be available in a few more seconds, but I'm not sure Berjaya will try to take this fight. Never mind, they're gonna do it. Glacial Fisher connecting onto 1. They will get any kill that they can. That's even the Destiny being popped as well. Looking at the back line, Sagi forced to jump up. Another kill going over to Tan-X. Syndicate the first one to fall down. Winter tanking all of these damage, making for no bomb being thrown out yet again. Still, it was a 1-2-1 trade, but Divine Esports, they're holding their ground in the mid lane.
Sagi lives. What an incredible game we have, Yuko.
Definitely. Indiana Jones, yeah, he got crashed by the boulder earlier, but now he's okay.
This time he jumps around the side, the boulder rolled past him. Sagi able to get away. Also, during this time, there was a split push by Coyote. That wave crashes down bottom. Berjaya catch that. They really need to prioritize this mid turret. It looks like the Braum will be enough. And all of their turrets survive a Baron. So we're talking about the misplay in the mid lane. We're talking about that Drake going down. It is worth noting that because of Sagi's heroics earlier, because of the way Chili acted aggressively, Berjaya really don't lose anything to a Baron take from Divine. And they still have a gold lead. I'm a little worried at this point by the damage that is going to start coming out from Coyote and Hope 1 as well as Quay. I think that does need to be a question mark in Berjaya's hand. But they're
out. Winter's Bite not connecting. Not sure if they're going to commit to the chase. Apparently, they won't.
But they're playing very well around that. Watch this split pressure. All of Berjaya showed top side. Divine answer by sending 3 down bottom.
Good trade. They both got the Dragon Lane and mid lane turret just because 4 champions were focused on Tan-X, which is still alive, by the way. You're going to try to go with the inhibitor turret. Let's see, will Divine Esports go back? That is to be a jump in on Syndicate. He gets stunned on their turret. They don't care. There's a Fisher in. But now, here comes the other members of Divine Esports. Winter forced to pop with the Unbreakable. And with that, Berjaya Dragons, they're forced to go back.
That's an incredible trade from Berjaya. Yeah, it's good on Divine to answer the pressure with pressure. They send their entire mass down mid, down bottom lane. And Berjaya just realized, well, hang on, we have a pushing wave. We can just zone this out. And because they take an inhibitor, oh no, Chili.
That's a lot of damage being tanked by a Twisted Fate. And you still have that bug right behind you. He does become golden, but still gets taken down, still gets bitten by this bug.
Okay, but it is going to be really hard for Divine to threaten anything because of those super minions.
Oh, okay. Now that is Sagi down. Are they threatened yet?
Yes. With Sagi down in a 3v5 with that wave in the top lane pushed, Divine should be able to take this Baron.
Good Coyote trying to protect this with his life, but Syndicate with the knockup, he also have the roots connecting. Won't be enough though, looks like it will not. Teleport is gonna come through.
TP back.
Now here comes the other members of Berjaya Dragons connecting onto one. Talon X jumping back. Len, you have 3 champions chasing right at your back with the stuns connecting. Syndicate forced to go back. Blade of the Exile being used by Talon X as well. GA popped. Syndicate in the middle of everything and was just forced to meet his death.
Which is a shame because Berjaya played that very well in the 3v5. Watch this Destiny.
Let's see though, looks like that is going to be a kill onto Bro. Another teleport from the side of Berjaya.
They're contesting.
Explosive minefield being popped out. Another teleport for the side of Divine Esports. Now Mega Inferno Bomb will not be enough to get Baron. Now you have Hope 1, the one who got the grand challenge, but he doesn't care. With that challenge, he was able to turn the tables around and get the kill on Isilla.
Real Hail Mary thrown by Berjaya. They actually play those fights individually very well, but they overextend on the push. And that means that they lose a whole bunch of players, key player Syndicate in that exchange. So they're not just going to lose the Baron here, they're also going to lose the Elder. Berjaya needed to let that Baron go. They had super minions pushing in the side lane. Elder was about to come up. Even if Divine get Baron there, they can't possibly end the game off of a Baron alone with super minions shoving towards them. So you have to be thinking with a longer mindset for Berjaya. You have to be thinking about this Elder that's about to come up. 3 Drake Elder, Yuko, that's just devastating. That may be game ending.
Definitely. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think this is a huge opening for Divine. With Ziggs gone in 50 seconds, they have no bombs, they have no burst at their backlines. Chili forced to use the hourglass yet again. And with that, Hope 1 with the GA by the way, we're very much happy to pierce through the life of Chili. TF already down. Now you have Divine Esports jumping into the base. They don't care. Killing spree going over to Coyote. And with that, the Tan X also able to get the kill on Syndicate Isilla. The only one left into the base. But Divine Esports, they bag in number 2 and are now at match point.
Well, it's well played, but
Very unusual, but in the right circumstances could just be the spice of life that they need.
Well, they are on blue for sure, and this would definitely give them the chance, like you mentioned, Skimmy, to go for something unique. You love to see it. Swapping to blue, you have more bans freed up. Ban away the Riven. If they open Renekton, take it for yourself. I think you stick with the Camille ban. They might be wanting to open Lee Sin here. We'll have to see how that one plays out, but I'm really liking BJD banning away these 2 picks from Divine. I think now the question is just, I'm sure that Divine has more picks in their pocket. It's just what that will be.
Yeah, now it's really down to the Camille or the Renekton that they're hoping to ban out. So Berjaya Dragons, if they do get that, you won't be seeing that Fiora. So now Berjaya Dragons have a few options available. You got the Twisted Fate, you got the Renekton, and you got the Varus as well, but they say, you know what,
no.
Let's go for that Bomberman.
This is so wrong. If you go for Ziggs here, you're just gonna give them Varus Renekton, and then how are you gonna play the game either way? It doesn't make sense, man.
Wait, I think there's a little bit of chance here. They still want that brand,
okay,
but it might just
fine.
be a Varus to pair alongside. So there you go.
Okay, this could be really good for BJD. If they get their hands on Varus 6 here, that could be a very dominant long-range combo that you could play into Bren and Renekton, and I think do quite well.
And they're going to be passing on the Braum that's been played out for 2 games. I think Winter definitely has been showing really good sign of rotation and providing enough cover. But now going on Enchanters here, they're going to be a little bit squishier. And it's going to be the signature Kaisa for Sagi. So missing out on that opportunity to snatch that Varus away, they think that, okay, bottom lane doesn't seem to be the biggest of issue. Now that they can try to sustain. Now Olaf goes over to Divine Esports. Does that mean that they will actually get better sort of entries going into early objectives?
What I like and what I don't like from BJD right now, right? Picking up this dominant bottom lane matchup in Kaisa and Nami tells me something about what they were saying between the games, right? It's Saki and Winter saying, we can carry the game, give us the carry pick, give us the chance to perform, and we will do it here. And that's probably the reason why they opted for these more carry-oriented pocket picks over the power of something like Renekton, over the power of something like Varus.
Oh boy. Fiora
Not
once
again.
I
just have no words, man.
I think this is going to be definitely a tough matchup still for the Fiora, especially when you have a Renekton that could easily just chunk you out with all 3 of their basic skills out there. Now, what's going to change for Divine Esports is the mid lane with the Fizz coming up in effect. So
really good counter pick here.
this is I think it's definitely going to be forcing the Ziggs to play a little bit more defensively once he hits level 5.
The big question to me here is, what is this draft from BJD? You know, the saying, right? Fool me once, shame on you. What happens when you fool the same team twice, thrice, 4 times? I think this is the 5th time already. They're running the similar draft back. This time with strong side top, strong side bot. What's the play here? I couldn't tell you, Skimmy.
I think we've just broken Omo because they've gone to the blue side. They've banned away some of the champions that we've said may just be oppressive enough and said, look, we're going to focus on top side. Have you Renekton? But I don't know. Had they just revealed their hand too early on by locking in that bot side and saying the Ziggs could be a flex? But here you go. You can get that counter pick. You can have that Fizz. Well, their tournament lifeline is in the bag. Can they hold on? We're going to find out as we throw to our casting team.
Of course, with Divine at match point, the 2 dragons will have no other choice but to fight fire with fire. TJ, earlier, you mentioned this Fiora, and we see that again. I feel like this time around, we're gonna have the same emotion. Yep, definitely. That's TJ right now.
I don't want to look at drafts anymore. I don't want to look at drafts anymore, Yuka. If there's any universe in which I have to look at one of those drafts again, I'm just gonna get even more sad.
I feel like you can't get any sadder than that. Come on, man. But yeah, it was really a good draft in favor of Divine, but game hasn't started yet. This is me being optimistic. What do you think are the chances or the things Berjaya could do to push this to a possible game number 4?
I mean, they did just get really outdrafted here. I was with Omo. I was riding that roller coaster with Omo and Contra where they were like, okay, blue side, they ban out the Divine picks. They're gonna first pick Renekton. They've got an opportunity here. And they don't first pick Renekton. They first pick the Ziggs, which has been all right for them, but not good. And I don't know.
I have no idea as well. But my idea right now is just Chili marching his way into the mid lane. Now Divine, they're just really come together at this point. So, like 4 champions hiding out there.
Yeah, they don't have the dominant early game on BJD. So it's not the level 1 end game that it was earlier. Although Coyote, interesting choice there. So let's talk about their draft, like as optimistically as possible, just for you, Yuka.
Thank you.
Berjaya Dragons have what I like to call the kettle comp, the cauldron comp, because you can throw down the Jarvan ultimate, the Cataclysm, and just kind of get cooking. You can throw Nami bubbles in there. You can throw Chili Ziggs bombs in there. You can generally have a pretty good time if you can catch key targets inside the Jarvan ultimate. So watch for that. I also think it's worth noting that Sagi and Chili scale very well into mid-late game. Kai'Sa will be able to counter for raw damage, especially on a dive. If we can see those very fast 5v5 team fights out of Berjaya, I guess I believe in them. But I'm just worried that they'll never get there, especially with, you know, the assassin threat of something like Coyote.
And actually, it's a race on who gets to scale earlier between Kai'Sa or Varus. And looking back in game number 1 and 2, looks like Hope 1 does have the small advantage here.
You do have a very important bottom lane here for kind of the first time. And I'm very curious as to where Syndicate is going to go after killing this Scuttle. Because we've seen really aggressive priority towards top lane 2 games in a row from Berjaya. And 2 games in a row, Asilla hasn't been able to do much with that prior. This game, he's playing into a Renekton, a character that is pretty impossible to knock out of the game. Renekton's always going to be able to do something in the mid game. So I really actually want Berjaya to send their early game jungle ganks down bottom.
It's like
give an advantage over Hope.
Like that is a possible thing that they will do. But Kue being caught out by Winter, they're still not going to secure with kill. Syndicate does get better end of the ebb and flow. But so far, it's a pretty quiet map for Berjaya. Olaf is in too deep,
We have a fold here on Len. He's been caught out.
Now that is going to be the poke coming up from Asilla. Cataclysm will be set down, but it's not going to be enough at the very least. The first kill. First blood goes over straight into Syndicate. With that, Chum the Waters has been used, and J4 paid that kill with his life.
Okay.
Okay.
That trade is kind of null and void. I think Syndicate gets the slightly better end of that because he farmed more jungle. You can see he has a very minor gold lead. And also because this Olaf isn't going to get to early gank any of the lanes. So I don't know, maybe that's an advantage for Berjaya, but I'm just kind of bemused by the whole affair, Yuka.
I can't see you right now, but I kind of feel your frustration there, man.
I mean, it doesn't really mean much. Syndicate overextends to get the kill. I think that it would have been much better off if Syndicate had gotten the damage they got. You forced the flash from Len. You can just end the play there for Berjaya. You want more, but it's all right.
That's a lot of minions towards the side of Berjaya.
Yeah.
Now, Bubble had been sent out. Hope one very, very low, but will it be enough? Apparently, it won't be because Kai'Sa still gets taken down at the expense of Varus' life, though. Ragnarok has been used, but Len was just forced to jump away.
And what I like about this, Yuko, is that's also a play that has no tangible advantage for either team. So it's still about dead even in the game state, as both AD carries trade their lives for each other. It's very well mechanically played by Sagi to get out of what was a dangerous situation. But we'll see where we go here, as Berjaya still dead even on gold. Do have a late timing to this Drake, and we'll probably pivot towards Rift Herald.
The lead will be seen right now because again you have Coyote with the Rabadons available, and Divine Esports still gonna get this Mountain Drake. They want to get those shields in.
And Mountain Drake over to Divine. Berjaya will pick up the Rift Herald. Game pretty much dead even. A 1k gold lead is on the board. That's just from taking the Drake essentially. I promise you it will vanish once Berjaya deploy the Rift Herald if they get value from it. And that's why, generally, Rift Herald is considered the more important early game objective. But Berjaya haven't always gotten very much from it. They did find success from it in game number 2. They spectacularly wasted it in game number 1. We'll see. If they use it well, they have a gold lead here.
Possible 2v1 up at the Baron lane side. Isilla under turret. Here comes Coyote to the side. The Vitals has been seen, but Isilla will still not pop the Grand Challenge. He did see Coyote earlier, still available with the Ignite, so it looks like Isilla will just try to hold his ground.
This looks really defensive, Yuka. A lot of these Berjaya Dragons players kind of haven't crossed the river this game. They're really banking on the Kai'Sa Ziggs late game.
Still waiting for Chili. I'm actually waiting for a really good play from Chili. Sagi trying to survive that. Making for the bomb has been thrown out. Len very, very low. Saturn has been used. Tidal Wave being sent out. Coyote being caught out as well. He gets stunned, and with that, right on cue. I was looking for a good play from Chili. With that double kill, looks like he's a-okay now.
Now press the advantage, Berjaya. Spend this Rift Herald in mid. You know you have a player advantage on the map. They should deploy it alongside the wave. Charge the mid turret right now.
Hey, Chili. Okay. Nada. Okay.
Too late. They've missed the window.
All right.
So the next objective to use this Rift Herald for is going to be the next Drake. You can use the Rift Herald to drag Prio on the next Drake, force them to defend against the Rift Herald. You can get the Drake pretty easily. So keep your eye on that. That's the justifiable thing Berjaya could have saved it for. I really do think getting a mid turret there would have been pretty massive.
Still already used Ghost earlier, but looks like it was just Tanex being able to bait out as much skills as he can out of Isilla. Will we see 1v1? Looks like Syndicate does jump straight into Coyote's trap. Very low, does have Winter, does have Sagi the backlines. Coyote flashing out, and Hope One will not try to do the gamble. Now at top, at the Baron lane side, Vitals again has been proc, but looks like it will be a free turret for the side of Divine Esports. Rift Herald being someone down here at the Dragon lane side.
They do get this turret, so it's 1-for-1, and this speaks to the priorities of Berjaya this game. They're willing to, eat the mid lane. They don't take advantage of the mid lane Rift Herald opportunity. The second they see 3 players up top, Berjaya go, that's fine, we expect to lose top lane. We're gonna get Sagi out ahead.
Phaeton Rain will hurt a lot so far in 7 minutes in, but Coyote will be pretty much alive. Isilla still holding his ground up at the Baron lane side. Still though, so far it has the advantage toward Divine Esports. Remember, game number 2, Berjaya Dragons was not able to get any dragon. Now, let's see will it happen yet again? Because again, they could be the possible team that will be out in the C championships. Winter, okay, that was a hard poke coming out from Hope One.
Yeah, this would be the first team actually eliminated from the SEA Championships, so nobody wants to be that first. Berjaya, just by quirk of the schedule, would be. This Dragon fight, very important for them. I do think they have a team fight advantage right now, provided Sagi finds value. All of the eggs are in the Kai'Sa basket. Does Sagi manage to deliver them?
Bombs being thrown out by Ziggs, but looking at the Baron lane, TanX did use his dominance, was able to push Esila back. He's very, very low. Again, TanX being able to win a bit that duel. Roots coming out from Chile. He does pop in with the Hourglass. Still pretty much alive, but
Drake's
that's
being
already
taken.
a lot of bars being taken down.
They're
Drake
just taking
is up. They don't mind to get the objective. Mega Inferno bomb being thrown out. Tidal Wave not connecting. Flag and Dragu right at his face, but J4 still gets taken out. Ragnarok being popped by Len. And it looks like Berjaya, they do not want to fight this just yet. That was hurtful. Another hurtful poke from Hope One.
Divine play that so well, dragging the center of that fight towards the mid lane, away from the advantaged bottom lane.
Targetable, Grand Challenge being popped. Isilla looks like he does not want to go with the steal. Ocean Drake going over to Divine Esports. Number 2 Dragon in their pockets.
And by prioritizing Chile, by denying Sagi a 5v5 teamfight, Divine are able to play to their advantages. They have longer range, they have better poke. And so they're not interested in grouping for 5. They're not interested in facing a team that has Ziggs, Jarvan, and Kai'Sa on it in an organized skirmish. Instead, they just spread out across the map, throw out some Vex arrows, throw out some assassin dive, see what happens, knowing that Berjaya don't have the sustain to take that kind of fight.
Speaking of not having sustain, if you saw the little 1v1 there, Coyote flashed in and actually got the kill on Isilla. So now, 5
Rough
minutes
times.
before the Baron is up, Fiora will be a bit late in with the objective take. Still though, you have Chile and Winter here in the mid lane side. Hope One being very good, keeping his distance, just making sure that Berjaya will be nowhere near him. Now both teams wants to assert dominance in the Baron's pit. Sagi still has Killer Instinct. That is going to be the ultimate coming out from J4. Pokes coming out from Hope One. Yet again, Killer Instinct in. Able to get the kill onto Olaf. But Kuei receives a lot of damage. Double kill going over to Kai'Sa. Here comes the teleport. Winter trying to get away. But you have a Crocodile right behind you. Chili greets TanX as well. Stun is going to come through. He does not care. Did use the satchel charge. But looks like TanX received quite the damage from the turret.
A little bit of a hero play coming out from Winter. You do see the demonstration of what I was talking about there as Berjaya do finally get a fair team fight, and they can go even at it. Sagi leaves a little early. He just kind of gets an opening kill and then goes down towards the mid lane, leaving TanX to rampage amongst his teammates. But the point is still proven, and I think especially to Divine.
Oh no! Good repose coming out from Isilla, and he was able to win that 1v1! Looks like this Fiora getting that kill. Okay, I'm gonna give plus 2% of my yes. Okay, Fiora's pretty good. But yeah,
Plus
just in that 1v1.
of
my trust.
Fiora award.
Yes.
Okay. What do I need to do to earn 2% of a Fiora award?
Get a quadra kill.
Oh no.
Here we have another kill, possibly toward the side of Syndicate. He gets locked in. Olaf, well, Len was forced to use Flash. They're also forced to use Ragnarok. A lot of resources being used. And Berjaya, they could possibly push in the mid lane side or push at the Baron lane side. Some of the waters has been used onto Chili. Does jump out, uses Flash, but still under turret.
My
Divine
God.
Esports, they got that kill.
And Sagi can't go in now because Chile's just been assassinated, which is Divine's target prio, which has been really good. They're only taking risks onto the Ziggs who can't escape their pressure.
Idle Wave, okay. Coyote was able to avoid that, given that he was very, very low. There's a ward placed on the Baron side by Divine Esports. Hope One, we talked about this. Hope One, the longer the game is, the harder he scales. So if Berjaya keeps this up, they need to be very wary of this arrow. But you know what, Isilla, he has a sword. Grand Challenge has been popped, but Hope One still pretty much alive.
Hope one will survive. We have Drake coming up, an Infernal Drake, third of the game in just 20 seconds. So Divine are resetting across the board. Berjaya, my question for them is the same as it was last Drake. Can they leverage Sagi? As you saw there in the middle of the map, Divine are doing a really good job of avoiding team fights where they need to fight into the Kai'Sa. The second the Kai'Sa pulls up, Divine back away. Berjaya really have one chance to throw a Hail Mary to win this game. They need to win it through their Kai'Sa at a 5,000 gold deficit. And Divine are opening up the river, letting Berjaya make a mistake here.
It's a 4v5. Berjaya should be able to get this because Fizz is split pushing up at the Baron lane side with Telestones coming through for the side of Berjaya. Cataclysm has been used, Tidal Wave being sent out as well. Look at the very low lifesteal, but still Divine Esports gets their hands on this juicy objective. Nami becoming Sushi, Syndicate with the flag and drag, but the double kill. Aside from Sushi, you have Fizz, another fish, getting that kill. Rampage now for Coyote. Escilla, the only one left alive, just had no other choice but to allow the turret to say goodbye.
And Divine take the turret down bottom, turn onto the Baron off the back of that team fight. And a beautiful team fight it was. Divine, as I talked about at the beginning of the team fight, just walk away from the Drake, let Berjaya Dragons walk into the Drake pit, and then come in behind them. Say, okay, you're now trapped inside this pit. You have nowhere to go. This Kai'Sa's not going to be able to maintain a distance, get away from the carries. If she chooses to flash over the wall, she's going to be out of this fight. So she has to stay in close range. We have a Brand, we have an Olaf, we have a Renekton. That kind of close range brawl is exactly the kind of fight Divine want to take, and they engineer it perfectly.
It was just to their lead and their advantages. Speaking of advantages, looks like everything on the board right now just favors Divine. Dragon, gold, even kill counts and turret takedowns. Berjaya only able to get one turret. Now Divine Esports, they're trying to run the 1-3-1 lineup. Tanex being able to get the last mid lane outer turret, and Len storming the Baron lane side. Berjaya, they're now locked into their very own base.
Oh dear, Berjaya, this may be the eulogy. Divine marching in, 5,000 gold advantage for the game.
Cataclysm also the Tidal Wave plus the Mega Inferno Bomb, but apparently it's still a double kill going over to Fizz. Make that a triple. Now Tan X in front. He doesn't care. He's even going straight to the well. Minions in the base. You have the kill going over to Kai'Sa, but still Divine Esports finishes the series at 3-0.
And that's going to be Berjaya.